Hey everyone, welcome to another update video for Haze Reverb. Today we have a couple of new banners. First one is Ophelia, who is a completely new unit, and we'll go over her skills shortly. And the second one is the Valentine Charlissa rerun. Now, we expected this because we got this Skadi one last week, but both Skadi and Charlissa are limited units, and therefore if you are a limited collector, you might want to pull for that if you haven't already got it. But you could also wait because most likely she'll be rerun again during Valentine's Day next year, if the game's still around by then. And therefore, I wouldn't say there's like a big rush to get it because it also really depends on your account. For example, if you already have an anti-dodge DPS such as Cynthia or Braccio, something like that, then you don't really need Charlissa. They're all pretty comparable, I'd say, in terms of output. In the end, they'll probably get out the DPS by Belina in most cases, aside from like very pure anti-dodge type fights. But yeah, it's really up to you if you want to pull for her or not. But make sure you have enough currency for the summon units if any of them are good. You at least you'll have 2 more weeks before you have to worry about whether you're going to pull for her. Therefore, you could wait a little bit before biting the bullet. Now let's talk about Ophelia, since she is a new unit that we haven't seen before. There's actually 2 versions of Ophelia. This one is the normal one. There is a Transcendent Ophelia, which hopefully we'll get at some point. But that Transcendent Ophelia is supposed to be really good, but we'll check her skills when she comes out. But this one is also quite good too. She is a guard unit. She's basically a pure tank as well. And obviously with how good Hawk is in the meta at the moment, this makes Ophelia quite good as well, since she synergizes well with Hawk. Alright, now this is her skills at max rank. Right, so at max rank she has an 18 turn taunt, which is on activation or when she attacks. 18 turns will cover a whole round, which is pretty good for PvP in most areas. She has a regen or heal over time after she attacks, and that scales off her own HP. And then she also has a shield, which is also scaling off her own HP as well, 60% of it, which is quite a hefty amount. Her base HP is not as high as things like Farnese or Lulula, but it's more comparable to something like a Nastia. I'd say she has more than Nastia, but less than Farnese and all that. But then you add the shield on top of that, which triggers at the start of every round. Then that gives her a very large, total effective health pool. And then she also has a damage reduction of 210% for resistance. Now the actual damage reduction, I don't know what this equates to, but it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not 100% damage reduction, but it is quite high. Just to give you a comparison, Shushu has 200% at max rank, and therefore Ophelia is slightly higher than Shushu, and Shushu is already quite good. Alright, then we have a immunity to weakening effects. This is it's okay. It's nice to have some sort of immunity. I don't think it's going to make or break her, but it's nice to have. And her main ability here is her counterattack. After she gets attacked, then she'll attack back for damage based off her own HP. And her own HP is quite fairly high. It's about 28k, right, with everything all maxed out. So if it's calculating properly, 24%. I don't know how much that is. It's the 2.86. It's probably over 6k per attack. I think that's quite good. It will one-shot a lot of squishy DPS if it works the way I think it does. Although this is before any sort of mitigation, right? So if they are buffing their units with Lina or Fleur or something like that, then they won't take as much damage. But it's still pretty nice to have, because this should hopefully combine as well with Heal Reprisal from Hawk, and combine those two together. That could probably take out a lot of the squishy DPS units. And then she also has this heal block and also like dispels or heals when she's below 50%. That's okay, I guess, but not too crazy. I mean, because it's mostly, I feel like it might be difficult for her to trigger this because it has to be below 50%. But if it does trigger, of course, it is pretty nice in PvP. Right, that is pretty much her skill kit. Now let's go over her stats and also her like the skill upgrades on like where you get the highest upgrades. At rank 10 is when she gets her highest resistance. So obviously it's pretty important. Like if you want her to make her like a full tank, then you want to get her to rank 10, which is also, of course, a very hefty investment. So just be aware of that if you are looking to build her. That you probably need a lot of gold books. Rank 9, she gets the highest taunt and also the highest regen. Rank 8 is the highest personal shield. Rank 7 is the highest counterattack. And rank 6 is when she gains the immunity to weakening effects. And everything below that is the weakest, oh, not weakest, but like the weaker versions of the other skills, right? So from rank 6 onwards is when you start getting all the like the maximum abilities. You could stop wherever like pleases you. Like if you only really care about her counter attack, then you can leave her at rank 7. But if you want her for full damage reduction, of course, then you want her at rank 10. Now her attributes, I'll have to equip a couple of cores, but her ideal core set is 2 HP percent. So if I just find a couple here, let's just use my finest set here. Okay, so this is at 28.8k, right? This is max leveled, max affinity, all that, and also maximum resonance gear. If we swap one of this to a flat HP, it's actually a very comparable amount that you have afterwards. So it's actually only going down by about 700 HP. So if this is all you have, then just by all means use one flat and one percentage. But her ideal is of course 2 percentages. So it's a little similar to how Zhao Meng has a very small difference between running 2 percentages and then 1 of each. This is sort of the same. Therefore, yeah, just use what you have. But if you can give her 2 HP percent, then obviously do so. Now her resonance gear, she has 1 attack like weapon, and that is not worth upgrading. I just don't feel there's no real reason to upgrade that. I don't think her ability scale of HP anyway. So this is like a really weird design in my opinion. I would rather than at least give her armor or something like that instead. But anyway, I wouldn't recommend leveling that until maybe she gets a over limit eventually. I don't know if she does or not, but if she does, then that's when you would bother upgrading it. Otherwise, just upgrade the health ones, and her affinity is a little bit more flat health and 5% armor, but that's like it doesn't really do anything because that's all she has, right? She only has 5% armor, and even if you put 2 armor cores onto her, it's not going to get anywhere close to 100%, and therefore it's not worth bothering, to worry about the armor. But that is her stats. Now, for my recommendation of whether to pull her or not, that is, obviously it's your choice. Like, she is very good in PvP, in my opinion. Usable in Moon Abyss. I don't think she's particularly good for Crusade Raid, at least not over something like a Farnese. But any tank is still usable technically in Crusade Raid. She's a general good PvE tank. She has like an active taunt, good resistance, and all that, right? So I think she is worthwhile, but the consideration is that she is not a limiter unit. Therefore, if you don't have a lot of resources, maybe it's better to skip her, because you could just randomly pull her while pulling for other units once she is in the customized banner, because then she'll be like an off-banner unit, basically, right? And if you don't have a Hlock team, then she might not even be that great. I think she's still general use is okay, but if I would say to run a lot of guards, you really want to be using a Hawk team anyway. And therefore, if let's say you're trying to do like a heavy comp, then with a heavy comp, you probably just rather wait for better heavy units rather than pulling for Ophelia, because you probably have enough tanks already, and you're not in a big rush. But if you like her design, maybe like her physics, go ahead. Like you can see here, physics is one of her primary suits here. But yeah, that is Ophelia, and we have this mini game technically, but it's not really. Um, Basically, you have like 3 watermelons, and you just pick one of them to hit, and you'll gain some rewards out of it. I got crystals today. I'm not sure if that's consistent for each time. Maybe it's a different amount of crystals, but just make sure you claim it. It's just free, easy resources. There's also a new battle pass with a new like a summer skin for Sam Gerner. I think that's how you pronounce her name. So that has started now, and I believe that is pretty much it for this week. So yeah, my recommendation is probably hold and wait a little bit longer. If you want to pull for Skadi, because I think her banner will probably end next week, then you can do so, but not a big rush for that. And yeah, then I would say wait and see another week before you decide on Charlissa and Ophelia. Alright, so that is it for this week. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.